Hello, welcome, God bless you. This one is an article from the Argonaut, or however you pronounce it. It's May 25, 2017. This is a paper in LA that serves several cities on the coast. Page 4. Preview. Ugh. So, yeah, that's a guy. And under him it states, Rick Swinger suffered a broken arm after confronting a homeless man who was screaming outside his bedroom window at 4:30 a.m. The title, A Scuffle on Venice's Skid Row. Violent confrontation underscored simmering tensions between the housed and the homeless. A longtime Venice resident who has become one of the most vocal critics of the perpetual homeless encampments on 3rd Avenue, venting frustrations through social media and making frequent calls to police, is recovering from a fractured arm and elbow after a violent altercation with the homeless man. Oh my gosh, scuffle, Skid Row, confrontation, violence, homeless, violence, fractures, breaking, screaming. Ah! Ow, those homeless people! Calgon, take me away! Lock them up or kill them all! Hey, just for the fun of it, let's keep going to see what else we can find. But if just skimming it, man, painting quite the picture of the homeless, aren't they? Huh. And then there's the other half of the story. So, this guy, Rick, has been living in Venice for nearly 25 years. Venice is a special place. I like it, but it's special. Some people definitely avoid it because it's has a lot of quirky people, to be nice. Artsy people, mentally challenging people. However you want to put it. Venice has a high population of people who are outside the box. So yeah, about 4:30 a.m., him and his wife were woken by a man shouting to himself. He's not shouting at them. He's not in a fight. He's not like a party animal. He appears to be having some issues. So right there, you're dealing with a man not in the best mental state. Rick does not call the police. I guess he's called the police over 100 times, I think they said, but they won't do anything. And the police really do not want to deal with noise pollution, whether it's in the middle of the night or during the day. They just don't, which is frustrating, especially at night. I think they need to have laws where, it's silent at night, like turn off the generators, turn off the music, like just shut up. If you need to party, go to a club. And I've had issues with people in homes just coming to where I'm at and being just ludicrously loud, and the cops don't do anything. It's like, it's the middle of the night. Like, serious, you can't tell them to shut up? Nope. Okay. So Rick decides not to call the cops for like the 100th and 10th time. Instead, he goes outside. And, you know what? If you want to tell a person to shut up, so be it. That's frustrating to be... I agree with you on that, Rick. That's frustrating to be woken up. I would suggest maybe doing it from your house. Or when you do it, keep a safe distance. Here, let me fill you in on the rest of the story. So Rick goes to this man who is yelling at himself. So he's not doing well. He tells him to shut up, and then he tries to touch a book that's in the man's possession. So they're really foggy here. In the man's possession. Is the man holding on to it? Is it in a car? Is it sitting by his feet? Like, what is it? And why, Rick, would you attempt to touch anything that is either of this man, near this man, or a part of this man? Maybe he thought you were, like, stealing it. I don't know. So, yeah, he touches the book that the man is in possession of, and the man starts yelling at him, go figure, and started moving towards Rick, at which point Rick douses him with pepper spray. Yeah, so he began to move away from him, but the man gave chase and knocked Swinger down after running into him, the fall causing Rick to break some bones. The homeless man doesn't beat the shit out of Rick. The homeless man doesn't seek Rick out. Rick seeks out the homeless man, touches him, chemically assaults him with pepper spray. And you know what? Here's just a thought, Rick. Did he chase you down, or was he blinded by the pepper you had just sprayed? Did he even see you? Was it just, he knocked you down? Did he knock you down? Because, I bet if I sprayed you with pepper in close range, you might freak out too. People usually don't see too well after being sprayed with pepper spray. So, yeah, that's another thought. Did he even see you? Or was he blinded by the peppers in his eyes? But, yeah, so they paint this man as an absolute victim. He seeks him out, touches him, assaults him, and yet he's the victim. That's a load of steaming hot manure. Are you buying it? Because I'm not. Just not buying that. And I find it really alarming how this man in a house can seek him out, can touch him, can assault him, and he's the victim. Yet, if you take a homeless person like me, I had a man come up to me the other year. He was very aggressive, punched me in my face. I went down to the ground. I got my pepper spray, and I sprayed it at him, which didn't reach him because he moved back too fast. I called the cops, and the cops wanted to throw me in jail. They said me using pepper spray was far greater crime than the man punching me in my face. How is it a man can punch me in my face and I use pepper spray to try to defend myself, but being that I'm homeless, I'm the criminal? Yet this guy seeks the guy out, pepper spray him, and he's the victim. How is it when you're defending yourself, you're a criminal if you're homeless, but if you're in a house and go seek someone out to F them up, you're the victim? For real? That's crap. So, yeah. And 911, yeah, the cops don't want to deal with noise ordinances or complaints, that's for sure. I think they should be nice to have some laws to make things quiet at night. Quiet during the day, silent at night. That's what I would prefer. But they won't. They just don't go that route. And the cops really aren't trained for this. The cops need to get a special unit that is trained to deal with the mentally sick and unstable who don't have guns. Actually, cops should just not have guns because they don't tend to be too swift with them. Throwing guns into a high tension situation rarely works out good in recent years, decades. I just think of a year or two ago in Florida, there was like a mentally retarded guy, I think it was. Someone called the cops for some reason. I just remember seeing pictures of this guy sitting on the ground, playing like with a toy truck, and his counselor is like next to him, laying on his back with his hands in the air. And the cops not only are surrounding them with guns and screaming, like, ugh, like, are you for real? But they shoot the counselor. I know a couple up north, their son was murdered by cops. Again, he wasn't homeless. He lived in an apartment. He had mental issues. He had a night where he was struggling bad. One of the neighbors called because they were concerned. He's outside making a ruckus. The cops got there. There was numerous witnesses. They said he had no weapon. He never sought to hurt himself, hurt another, or hurt the cops. He was actually just running around in a circle screaming. And like they said, he was so out of it, like he didn't even know who the cops were or like what they were. He was just running in a circle. What do the cops do? Do they taser him? Do they call in the mental hospital and get someone out and seduce him? Mm-mm. They could kill him. They shoot him dead. You know what? 9 out of 10 times we could really do without the violence. We turn to it way too fast. I think one of the greatest gifts you can give a person, especially a homeless person, is just acknowledgement. Just acknowledge the fact they exist in a kind way. Maybe, Rick, if you could just have said, yo, dude, you're in a residential area. Shut up. And walk away. Maybe that could have been enough. Maybe you could have said it nicer. Maybe you could have been more like nasty man. I don't know. But keep your hands to yourself. In what realm does touching a disturbed stranger in the middle of the night a smart idea? Really? You're going to say that you're the sane one? Oh my gosh, for real. But yeah, and it's like, and I, like from experience, it's amazing what just allowing a person to voice their frustrations can do. I was sitting out, a guy I know stopped to say hello, and then this other guy was coming down the way, and he was angry, and he was screaming, and he was just irate, and it's like, oh my. And he locked in on the guy I was talking to, and he got in his face. He was very just nasty. And the guy that I was talking to just walked away. I didn't have that option. Like, oh, Lord have mercy. Said a quick prayer. And you know what? The guy wasn't nasty with insults to me, but he was very angry. But I listened to him. And, and when he wanted a response, I would respond to him. Just listening to him. And it wasn't the most fun couple moments of my life. That's for sure. But it was so much worth listening to him. For the sake of his being and everyone else's in the community. Because he came screaming, yelling. I listened to him. Yeah, that sucks. Life is unfair. I hear you. I see your suffering. No, I don't agree with everything you're saying. God bless you. He walks away silent. Sometimes a person just needs to be acknowledged in a kind manner. We could sidestep a lot of crap if we wouldn't go to violence and nasty behavior, pit downs, and devaluing each other. And there are a lot of crazies in house, so don't even tell me you have one up and you know the answer and you're better than me, because you're not. Anyways, but yeah, if we have like 911 for emergencies and we have like 311 for information, I really think there should be like a national, 811 for like help for the brain. When you see someone having mental issues. I hear there is a phone number. I don't know what it is though, and I'm stunned, Rick, if you've been in Venice for 25 years, especially if you spent 25 years near Skid Row, like seriously, have you talked to mental places, or do you just habitually call the cops? The cops obviously aren't the answer, and attacking people aren't the answer. Maybe there could be something else. But yeah, so it's frustrating. It's just frustrating how, it could have easily been entitled Man in House Attacks Homeless Man. But it's not. And I've heard before where people in houses have attacked the homeless and they've hurt them, but they don't report on it truthfully. There is definitely a war against the homeless at the moment. It's totally inappropriate. We're citizens. There's a better approach than hatred. There just is. So, and if you come across a person that's not having a good mental moment, keep your hands home. Just keep your hands to yourself, period. There's really no reason to touch another person, especially if they're not in a good state. Say a prayer. And if you are dealing with someone frustrating, may God give you the grace and the wisdom to know how to deal with it in a peaceful manner, so it can be resolved in peace without anyone getting hurt. The homeless man has been chemically assaulted. Rick wound up falling down and fracturing stuff. It's just not appropriate. We can do better. Stop hating the homeless.